So right now, what we're going to do is the people that have been talking but not really introduced have been Rebecca Haviland and Chris Anderson of Whiskey Heart. And what we're going to do now to bring them officially into the show is we're going to play a song off of we're going to play a song called Direction off of their self-titled new album, Rebecca Haviland and Whiskey Heart. So we're going to play Direction now and come back with Rebecca and Chris.
You had to say the words you said. What did you mean? What did you mean? And I can't read the lines on your face. So tell me, please, oh tell me, please.
That was Direction off of the self-titled new album, Rebecca Haviland and Whiskey Heart. And we have Rebecca and Chris here in the studio, currently nursing their hangovers from a show last night at the City Winery in New York City. What was that like, playing last night?
It was great. We opened up for our good friends in the band Yarn, which is a bluegrass sort of jam bandy thing. And one of the great things about opening for a jam band is that after you play a 30-minute set, they play for 2.5 hours.
One song.
Which leads to 2.5 hours of drinking.
Exactly.
And it's the City Winery, and obviously, I've played at the City Winery several times with this thing I do, the 9, and they
Yes.
make wine and they ply you with wine.
They do.
good.
They have wonderful wine. All of the wine is fantastic, and that is one of the only negative things I could ever say about playing at a venue with great wine.
Do you guys know Shlomo?
We met
Yes.
Shlomo last night. He
Shlomo
is
is-
an amazing person.
He's the coolest.
He's so cool.
To me, he's the coolest 6-foot+
Yeah.
Israeli baseball player that I've ever met. Do you guys know that he's an Israeli
I did
baseball
not.
player?
I knew he. I got the Israeli
he
thing.
had a mullet.
But
He does. But he has more
Yeah.
of like the New York hipster mullet.
Yeah.
he's
Right?
got the New York hipster Israeli
I mean,
mullet.
Baseball
It's
playing
just
mullet.
cool all
Right.
around.
no, Shlomo's a good guy.
He kind of, without talking to him, he kind of looks intimidating. But once you talk
Yeah.
to him, he's a super nice dude.
Anyone that I have to like look up to like this.
Which is almost everybody.
But how
for
tall are
Rebecca.
you? You're not particularly tall.
I'm not particularly tall.
You're
I'm like
5'2".
5'2", 3-ish,
Yeah.
somewhere around there, depending on the shoes.
Exactly.
And Chris, and Chris, how tall are you?
Hello.
You guys are both wearing. Are we able to get Raph? Are we able to get a shot of their boots? They are. There's no doubt. There's no way around the fact that they are from New York. We've already done this. I mean, again, Chris has the hipster haircut.
Sure,
He's
probably.
sleeveless. He's got the bling. You guys are what we all kind of don't forget. We are in DC. We are the land of nonprofits, and
I didn't pay for these boots though. These are my mom's vintage fries that she bought.
We're vintage what?
She bought these brand new in 1978.
Well, they've got a cooler
Texas.
story.
It's legit.
Were those your mom's
These were
boots?
legit.
No, Base didn't buy these boots. I had to get a paper route.
You got a paper out. Nice. And I think before the show we talked about how we are all fans, although I'm not as progressed as you are, of Breaking Bad, right?
Yes.
Oh yes.
So,
Yes.
and
Huge
you are
fans.
completely caught up, and I am like episode 1 or 2. I can't remember where I stopped. I think I'm episode 2 of season 5. So,
Okay.
is everything going to change in the next 13 episodes for me?
It's,
All we can say is what the promo's been, which is that things are going to start unraveling.
yeah.
Well, it seems
It's just going to start
The,
unraveling.
the crazy thing about it is there's a lot of detail, and I can't. There's no spoiler alerts here.
right.
It's gonna come apart.
Right.
Bad.
Yeah.
And the way they're delivering it though, it's like every Sunday's TV night in our house, and I'm like, yes, Breaking Bad.
Well,
Yeah.
all these shows were like, the main person, I've said this before on the podcast, where the main person is like the anti-hero, like House or 24, anything like
Dexter.
that. Dexter, especially Dexter. And we're probably
Dexter, I love.
we're probably all caught up on Dexter maybe, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
I feel like
Yeah.
there's no way around Dexter not being killed at the end.
Right.
I feel like he has to be.
Oh, don't say that.
I know.
See, I'm
But
of
see,
the
here's-
hopeful
Say
spirit
that.
that he'll just
I can't.
get away with the chicken.
If
It'll
we're
just
gonna-
be wonderful.
He'll
and-
just escape
I
to
doubt that,
Argentina
right?
with
You don't
his
think he's gonna
blonde
die?
serial
I mean, I think he'll
killer,
die.
Don't crush
Come
my
on.
Monday's
favorite-
dreams. Come on.
My favorite thing about TV, though, and this goes back to my first favorite television show ever, was a really dark series called 6 Feet Under.
Yeah,
Sure.
he's still the
And-
guy
But
from
he's
6
from
Feet
that,
Under.
right?
Yeah, he's still
he
that
is
guy
from-
for
yeah.
me.
He's
I
the-
can't watch
Of course.
Dexter. I just
But, I mean,
can't.
Dexter is great, though. But the thing about that show is they spend all of these seasons discussing things you don't want to discuss.
That's true.
And making you feel feelings.
Sure, of course.
And then at the end of it, the main character, dies, and he was the one that, if you look back, was most likely to die, but they still somehow shocked you with it. And that, to me, is
That's
like good
true.
Right.
television. Because then it's like, because he dies, and I'm like, no. And I'm like, and then, a week later, after I'm done being upset about it, I'm like, makes total sense, man.
Right.
But they still fool you. The sleight of hand is good,
Did you guys watch Lost?
I didn't.
No.
I started
Not
it. I have this thing I do with the timer when I watch TV shows, and Lost totally falls into
Wait,
this. So does 24.
Are you setting a dining timer?
If you just
I don't
that
know about
idea
this
though,
timer thing. This
that
is
idea
news
though,
to me.
like
Is this
if you
a
watch
hokey?
Lost, right?
Right.
And then
Hokey meter?
Say you're
Hokey
watching
meter.
on DVD or whatever, or you're even on your laptop. A lot of those shows, you get to the 40-minute mark,
Yeah.
and they're just going to throw something in to keep you watching.
Oh, I
Exactly.
see.
Yeah.
And that drives me nuts. I'm a pretty patient guy. I like the curve to be much much broader. I like them to give me 3 episodes of nothing.
Yeah, it's
and
the
then hit me in
blatant
the teeth
emotional
with something.
manipulation.
Well, that's
a
one of
little-
the
Yeah,
great things about
exactly.
like Mad Men, for
Translucent.
example, is the shows. You'll get like 2 or 3 shows in a row that are like so tense, and you're on the edge of your seat, and you're like, "What's gonna happen? What's he gonna screw up next, Don?" And then nothing happens.
Nothing
and then the
happens
Third show, it's like the
so
whole
good.
world falls apart, and you're just like your heart breaks, and you're like, "Oh my god, I gotta watch next week," and then nothing happens next week, and it's
Yeah.
all
Keeps
over
going.
again.
And my little brother
know?
would tell me, keep watching, dude. It's going to get good. And I say, no,
Yeah.
that show fucking sucks now. I don't know what happened. It was a
Dude,
great
we go
show.
through the same ups and downs every couple of weeks with
Oh,
that
but
show. when we watch it.
I still love Mad Men. I think that every once in a while they come through on something that hits you in the teeth.
Sure.
So tell me, guys, a little bit about your band. I know you live in White Plains in Westchester County, north
Just
of New York.
Yep.
How long have you guys been playing together? Or how long have you guys known each other?
We've known each other for about 8 or 9 years.
Yeah.
We're both working sidemen. So we play, I'm actually a professional keyboard player, and Chris is a professional bass player. I almost said baseball player.
That's
Baseball.
That's not
That's
the
not
truth.
what you do. And we've been playing in bands together on and off for the last 8 years or so. And we've just kind of got to a point where we wanted to find something that was really nurturing our own craft, for songwriting and bands that we really appreciate musically and are inspired by. And we started writing songs together and did a Kickstarter to raise money for the album. And
How much money did you raise?
we raised through private funding and the Kickstarter. We raised about $7,000.
That's incredible.
Excellent.
Yeah, and we were really lucky.
Compared to a lot of Kickstarters,
Yeah.
that's not a lot of money, but also us being already professional musicians in the business, man, we could make that money go pretty far.
Sure.
We
Yeah.
cut the record quick and efficiently.
Where
and
did
we
you
did it the way
record
we
this
wanted it.
record? Yeah.
We did it at Flux Studios
Oh.
in the Lower East Side in Manhattan, and we really liked the room. It's funny because had we known about this room, it falls under the same category. Just a nice big space that you can record a live band in, everybody all at once,
Yeah.
and everyone's in the same room, so
Yeah.
you get that real like you're on the stage and you're all vibing off each other.
Right.
But it's on tape.
Yeah.
And we also wanted to get a room that had a lot of great outboard gear
Sure.
and had the ability to do things involving tape machines,
Sure.
which is hard to find these days.
Absolutely.
It's really hard to find.
It's $335 a roll for tape. Plus shipping, you get 23 minutes of music.
yeah.
Tape is analog, or that's
yeah,
different?
yeah. You're
good.
talking
Yeah.
about a roll of tape. It weighs 8 to 12 pounds. It's a pain in the ass to procure, and you get 23 minutes on a reel. It's $335 for them plus shipping for them to ship you 23 minutes of a reel.
You're just reading this, Sean?
No, I mean, you know what's
This is his
crazy?
gig,
This is
man.
his
It's-
brain.
Sean, you are the man officially now.
He
I
is.
just want you to know that.
It's funny when you have artists recording on a tape machine. There's a thing that
It's
happens
just a
where.
difference in sound quality.
Well, that too,
Yeah.
minor, but no, it's a mentality with the
It
artist
is.
because everyone knows that with Pro Tools, and we're recording in Pro Tools right
Yeah.
now. I can hit stop and hit start again, and we're
Sure.
right back in it. And you hit run, and the artist messes up, and
Yeah, but that's not what it's about.
That's not what it's about.
yeah. You run that tape machine. Everyone knows that tape machine is running, and it's like, please don't make me hit stop on this machine. You know.
Right.
And that's what we wanted. We really wanted it to be just, every track that's on the record is, except for like one track, I think,
And that's
is
the
a full take.
That's the self-titled album,
Yes.
the one that we just played at
Yeah.
Direction.
Who produced that?
Co-produced by Chris and I.
Yep. Rebecca dragged me into that.
Okay.
I'd never produced a record.
Who
and she was
engineered
like,
it?
This wonderful engineer named Meredith McCandless.
Love it.
And Chris, you've worked with her.
Yeah, I
bunch
worked
before.
with. I got to know Flux Studios because I worked on a couple records there with another singer-songwriter named Will Knox, and it got really comfy. And I liked all the outboard gear. Meant like you'd finish a take, and you'd go in and listen, and it was mostly done.
Yeah, you're
There
done.
was
Yeah.
no like,
Yeah.
let's fix it in post.
No,
there was
no,
no like,
no.
oh, we can fix that when we mix. It's like your work was. It's like vacuuming. It's an instant reward.
It
It's
either
like
is
it
or
takes
it
5
isn't.
minutes, and you
Yeah.
go, oh, now it's cleaner.
Yeah.
It's done. So recording like that is the way for me. That's the way I love to do it. So that was my criteria, and Rebecca dragged me in on it. And
And what was Meredith's last name again?
McCandless.
What is it?
my goodness.
What is it like? Obviously you're here right now in DC. You were saying you're visiting your brother who lives in Silver Spring, a little bit north of where we are currently. What is it like being being musicians in New York City, where there's so many people trying to do the same thing. Here, like I kind of alluded to the fact that we live in the land of nonprofits and lawyers and doctors and politicians. Really, there's plenty of musicians here, but nobody's here for music. They are here for something else, and they happen to be doing music.
I think that we try to approach New York from the same perspective, because you can get very involved in the New York scene. You can get very like, oh, I'm gonna play in like 8 to 10 bands a week and have like 2 gigs a night, and I have all this music to learn, and you can find yourself 5 to 10 years from now being a New York musician, making a successful living, and playing with a different band every night of the week, and that's great. If you want that, that's cool. We communally, through working together for as many years as we have, both landed on the same page, which is that we really love the craft and the art of it, and we want to find artists that we believe in, that we love their music. We want to help them to create their art over and over again, and being able to be or our art, which is how we got started with what we do.
Yeah, New York can very quickly become. I always joke about it. Being a bass player in New York is like being a licensed plumber.
Right.
It's like, I mean, it really is. You negotiate your rates, and you show up, and it's like, and this of course has no bearing on the musicians I work with. I get to work with the best, and it's so much fun, and I love a lot of the people I work with. But it's like, you have a job, you got to do it, and then that's it. It becomes a trade, and that's not always. And I'm also not into the whole like, let's sing songs around the campfire because we love it thing either. This obviously is a business. But I like the business of it to be something I want to invest in.
Sure.
You know what I mean? And that's the biggest thing behind Whiskey Heart is it's just, it's a little strange sometimes because people say like, people ask you funny questions. They're like, you do an opening slot at a theater or something, and they go, you guys sounded great for an opener. You know what I mean? And like, people say things like you wouldn't even believe. Or they say like, you guys are doing great. And like, Rebecca and I basically, since I was about 17, 18 years old, I've made my money and my living playing the bass.
Yeah.
So making my living as a musician is already a reality. Now I just want to make the living I want to make. As a
Absolutely,
musician.
and making a living doing something that you love is
Exactly.
the ultimate
Awesome.
success.
I wake up
in my
every day,
opinion.
I walk into my living room, and all my basses are there, and I'm like, it's like Christmas. What
Our
songs am I going to
apartment
play?
It looks like a small music store. So just to give you guys an idea, like if you walk into our apartment, we have like a huge living room, and there's guitars or basses on every wall.
And you don't just play electric, right? I heard you play some upright here and there.
No,
Is
I'm
it-
an
Chris
upright
plays
bassist
upright.
as well.
We have a lot of keyboards because I
Yep.
play keyboards. So we also have I
Our-
think I have 10 guitars now, and you have 19 basses currently.
Your musical instruments are your decorations in
Yes.
your
Oh,
apartment.
Yeah.
And children.
yeah.
It's
it sounds
Christmas. Every morning I
really.
walk out and I see it. It's Christmas.
So, Chris, you said that you guys have known each other and been playing with each other for about 8 years or 10 years.
Somewhere around the 8 or 9 years, I think. Yeah.
But for the last 2 years, you guys have been dating.
We're romantically involved.
and that right there ruins our whole marketing plan.
Great job, Justin.
I
You're
see.
not
I'm
supposed to let the
single-handedly.
people know.
Y'all heard it here first.
Is it tough? Is it tough to play with someone that you're also dating?
It's
Not
easier.
in the least.
It's easier.
It's easier.
Yeah, because all those hours you would be bored by yourself in the car, you're with someone you like.
You're not doing that sad phone call to the person 300
No.
miles away.
No.
Yeah, really.
Like, guys, when we finish sound check, I gotta go Skype my kids.
Yeah, and I mean,
No, it doesn't ever get to that. You know what I mean?
even if we're like
in it
not in the
together.
car together, it's like I'm on the same hours that he is. So like he'll
Right.
call me on the ride home, and I'll just leave him on speaker and like roam around the apartment and do things. And
Aw.
Yeah.
You guys are going to play a couple songs for us live. What's the first song you guys are going to play?
we're gonna do Books, which is one of the first songs that Chris and I wrote together, and it's actually an interesting writing process we had initially. We wrote the first couple of tunes together, not ever in the same room. So this song, Chris was actually on the subway, and then on Metro North, and I was in my apartment at the time, and we were shooting. Thank God for the new digital technology we
The
have, because
iPhone.
we
Let's try to get an endorsement. Thank
iPhone.
God for the iPhone.
We were literally like making voice memos and like sending like the little notes to each other of like lyrics and things, and like Chris would send me a lyric back, and I'd write a lick or write something, and then I'd send it back to him, and we had the whole song finished before we even got together to run the whole thing.
Killer.
That's amazing.
That's killer, yeah.
And is that off the new album?
It's off the new album.